Oh, guys. We're at the Yamaha demo days.
Make sure that's off. I can't film my rides.
Oh, okay. Hey, you guys, I want a baby root. Anyways, in front of us is the dead duck, and we just rode up to Kansas City area to do a Yamaha demo day, which is it was fun. It was cool. Met a few people, but Yamaha does not let you film during their demo rides for some unknown reason. I turned the camera on, and no sooner turned it on, the guy came over and said, make sure that's off because you can't film during the demo rides. I'm like, well, that sucks. But I want to tell you about the bike I rode and the experience I had on it. Is a Yamaha Niken. Yes, that three-wheeled thing. And my initial reaction was, we're gonna go around this car and get up there with. But my initial reaction was, that thing is a big bike, wasn't it? I thought I was gonna hand it. Is that a scooter in front of us? I think it is. Oh, close enough. It's a little 250. Might as well be a scooter. But anyway, I got on the Niken, and your turn signal's on. And you expect it to handle like a big bike, but it doesn't at all. It has all kinds of features and that I honestly couldn't tell you what they all were because I didn't want to start playing with buttons. And as the guy described in our little demo talk before, the pre-ride talk, was people always have a tendency to find the seat heater and crank it all the way up, and I'm like, that's not what I want to find. So the only button that I've touched other than the start button, which is also the kill switch, which was kind of weird, was the hazard lights, and even then I had a little trouble turning them off, I ain't gonna lie. That's why they were on so long. But in the turns, that thing, you can, I can't really describe it as you can feel the second wheel in the front. But you can. It's, we got a bunch of idiots around here today. But, yeah, it was real grippy in the turns. It was like you take the turn and you didn't feel the wheels stagger themselves. It was just so fluid and smooth that you just turn it would carve like a normal bike would. But honestly, probably even better because that second wheel gave it that more traction and more control, and it was like being on rails, like that one guy said. And it was interesting. The clutch was really, really soft. I'm going to take this exit. But the clutch was really soft, and Duck here rode the R6, and he was saying the same thing about that. It was just, now I'm kind of feeling like I'm still on that thing. I got to get back. It's weird not having that. Okay. I mean, I guess you could feel the lean a little different on that bike because the seating position's a little different. Fucking idiot. See that guy try and come into my lane? But yeah, the clutch was really smooth. The shifting was really smooth. The brakes seemed to work really good. The throttle, it wasn't like a jerky throttle. It was a pretty smooth delivery. It had the front wheels were a lot smaller than I thought they would be in person. I mean, at least they looked like they were. Duck was saying the same thing when he's like, look at how small those wheels are. So it honestly looked like the front wheels were smaller than the rear wheel. But were they? And if you guys couldn't hear that, he said it looked like they had like 15 or 16-inch wheels in the front and the regular 17 in the rear. But I mean, when you got two wheels, I guess it really doesn't matter. But I mean, would I own one of them? Yeah, I mean, if they were like, because I got a pretty hefty price tag. I don't know. I might just because I mean, yeah, it's different, but the benefit of that is kind of cool because that, like I said, in the turns, yeah, you lean a little different, and it's a wider bike than a sport bike usually is, you know, obviously. But there's really, I mean, the grip is crazy. You go through the turns, and a turn up here, like this one we're getting ready to take, well, I could probably do it on one hand, or with one hand on this bike, which, yeah, I mean, I'm not really leaning too much. I'm gaining a little speed, and it's starting to pull out. With that Niken, it was like at speed through those curves, I could let go with one hand and it would just fucking go. It stayed on its line, it just went. So would I recommend? I mean, probably. It was a decent bike. It seemed really, it was comfortable. Not really my full cup of tea. And I'll say the same about the R6, even though I didn't get to ride it. Duck rode that, but I sat on that thing for like a few seconds, and as soon as I swung a leg over it, I looked at Duck and I was like, nope, I don't like it. I thought my seat on my CBR was uncomfortable. That thing, in my opinion, made my seat feel like I'm sitting in a Lazy Boy. And that I don't like. It also it forced you to lean over more, which I didn't like. But yeah, that Niken, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was definitely different. I wish Duck would have got to ride it, so he would have seen what I'm talking about. It's hard to describe the feeling of that thing. But when we got there, they said they were booked for the whole day, but they had just had 2 cancellations, and it happened to be on the 2 bikes that I was more interested in riding, and I think Duck was. I'm not 100%. Yeah, he's shaking his head, yeah. And they only had the 2 slots open up, which were at the same time, and it was both the bikes. So I looked at, yeah, so I'm like, Duck, which one do you want to ride, the R6 or the Niken? And he took the R6, I took the Niken. And that R6 did have that R6 Yoshi exhaust on it, which I could hear because me and Duck connected our intercoms while we were riding so we could communicate in the pack, and I could hear him coming up behind me. I'm like, yep, I hear you coming. Yep. But overall, yeah, I mean, the Niken was it was an interesting bike. For a long ride, that would be, honestly, for a long ride, I'd probably take the Niken. If I'm doing like a long haul ride, cross country or something like that, that Niken would be probably really nice. Because, you know, it's good, it's so stable and it's just comfortable, and I think it had cruise control. We weren't 100% sure on that, and I didn't want to just start pressing buttons. Yeah, it had the button on the side that said, or on the your right, left-hand side that said, it looked like cruise control. But like I said, I didn't want to just start pushing buttons and end up, you know, burning my ass. Or doing something else, because with knowing my luck. But yeah, for a long ride, the Niken would probably be really nice, because you don't have that big bulkiness of the Tours. I mean, you do, but it doesn't handle like one. You've still got the luggage racks, or the luggage in that. The front end's big and wide, but it's got that windshield, and you got a more upright sitting position. Yeah, if I was going to do long hauls, I'd probably enjoy the Niken. It'd be a really nice bike for a long ride, I think. It would break up that monotony of the big Tours, you know, where you're limited by your size and your weight, and you know, it's not going to be as nimble. Yeah, they'll be comfortable, but they don't really have the power and this and that. That thing had pretty good power. I mean, it's the same motor as the MT-09, but it's been reworked a little bit and tuned differently, so it's not as aggressive. But I mean, it's enough that it can lift the front wheels, and that should say something. But yeah, overall, that's what I would say. For a good long ride, you know, like cross country, or if you're just into into touring, things like that, break up the monotony. Check out the Niken, because I think it would make a really good touring bike, honestly, because you get that the nimbleness of a regular bike with the control of the three wheels, and just the comfort of a touring bike, along with the luggage and all that. So yeah, that's my opinion. That's my review on it. And yeah, so tell Yamaha, screw you, quit stopping people from recording during the rides, because that could sell more bikes for them if people were allowed to record. Yes, I know, the thumbnail of this video is of the Niken. The first few seconds are probably going to be that guy telling me I can't record. Just as a kind of a screw you. So, other than that, yeah, check that thing out and then tell Yamaha, screw you, let people record during demos.